guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm coming live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. And sorry for being late again, but I already see you guys gathering here. Say hello, hello. Yes, Sam, David. Oh, that's us. Yeah, Kazu-san. And where's Yoko? Yoko was hiding. Sorry, I was in Tokyo for a few days and I came back and I haven't had any, live streaming here. So I had to set up everything again. And here I am. Yay, rented identity, sir. Hello. Thank you again for your super chat. Always. Thank you. I can't wait to see Yoko again. Hello. Yay. Yes, nice super chat. Do you guys watch Trump lawyer's press conference? Oh, there was such a press conference. The one yesterday. Oh, you guys are talking here. Yes, I saw it. Cool. So this is a Q&A session. So if you have questions, leave me down below, but make sure those are something that I can answer. I'm a Trump supporter from Japan. I'm also a conservative and a realist, and I'm also an activist here in Asia, fighting against CCP with all those who are oppressed by the regime here in Asia. So if you have any questions regarding that, I'm here for you. Hello. I heard Japan hates the PS5. Oh, really? I'm not familiar with it. That's PlayStation? I'm not really familiar. Oh, by the way, my husband is still out right now, and it started to rain. So I hope he took an umbrella with him. Okay. Ohayo, Yoko. Ohayo. It's actually konnichiwa now that it's noon. Hope you are well. Random question for Random Yoko. Yay! If you had a choice, who would you pick? Doraemon or Anpanman? Doraemon by far! I don't like Anpanman. I just don't like the voice. I'm so such a racist or whatever. I don't know, it's weird. I made my first alcoholic cider, 8% alcohol. It tastes okay, but not great. What? Somebody is experimenting. Okay, wait, how far did I see here? I was late, so people were waiting. Yeah, sorry, I'm late. Hi, anyone recommend any good conservative profiles in Japan? Oh, me. Aside from me, everyone only speaks in Japanese, though. Even those who are experts on American politics, they only let's say Twitter, for example, they only write in Japanese. So yeah, I mean, I could recommend a few, but I don't know. You want to go to Japan so bad? Yes, please come. But COVID-19 situation in Japan has started to get worse again. I mean, it's just what happens in winter when the air is more dry, So people and all this commentators on TV and so on, or politicians even, they say oh, people are getting used to the virus and people are not taking care of themselves well, compared to before. And experts are saying no, it's the seasons are changing. Season is changing, plural. So yeah. So things are changing now, and everybody is wearing a mask. Though I am too. I'm late. I'm a late person. Hey Yoko, happy to see you live. Yay! Hello from the big TN. What's TN? そうです。海外向けタイムです。失礼いたしました。Hello from French Paris. Oh, Paris. Nice. How have you been? How have you been, guys? What's on the mind of you guys? As for the presidential election, I just have to wait until the official result is in. So I'm like being patient. I'm gonna wait until the voting happens, right? Like a electoral college, I believe. So I'm gonna wait. California Democrat politicians are forming re-education camps for conservatives. Please pray for our safety, everyone. Oh, yeah, I think I saw. I don't know if it's about that, but I saw somebody talking about how they have to deprogram conservatives. I saw a tweet like that. And my friend was like citing that tweet saying like, oh, Japan has been going through this for forever, it's interesting that coming from Japan, I see what's happening in the US. And of course, the US is dealing with like historical things that it's about the Civil War. And I feel like there are some things that haven't ended since the Civil War. And at the same time, Japan is in a way ahead about this information war because our country obviously lost to your country if you're coming from America. And what that means to us is that our patriots were purged and our cultural values were destroyed, even though somehow we are surviving, and our social structure changed dramatically. And so and our education, especially, it's as like patriotic teachers were all purged. What was left was all this, anti-Japan type of people, meaning like today's leftists. So now we look at the U.S. and same things. I mean, it was simultaneously happening in the US too. And, you guys had the red purge and, McCarthyism and so on. But McCarthy was a little too early to do things by his own. And so, I see that too. But, today I look at the US and I'm like, oh, same thing's happening. Japan has dealt with war guilt, the guilt from the World War II. Like it teaches us how bad Japan was and how atrocious Japanese soldiers were and so on. And we get brainwashed by that, hate our own country, and then we become apologetic to other countries and see like this is all happening in the US right now and with the white guilt. So I'm like, American conservatives or patriots, we need to unite. Konnichiwa, Yoko. What do you think about the IES military in Japan? Huh? I'm lost. You mean US military in Japan? Maybe. I'm very thankful for the US presence in Japan, like military wise. There is, of course, I'm a patriot in Japan, and there is a part of me that thinks like, oh, Japan should have our own military and we should defend ourselves. But at the same time, again, like we lost the war and there are consequences, and we are in this what we call post-war regime. So in that, it's really, really difficult to even have our own military. In order to do that, we need to revise our constitution, but the majority of people are brainwashed still. They are not waking up. So for that, in the meantime, America, even though the intention of that, like in the first place, was of course Japan was a threat to America, but today, like we all know who the real threat is, CCP in China. So now it's really working well for both of our countries, Japan and the US. And that's how I think. So I'm really thankful for the US, especially Trump administration has been closely working with our JSDF in especially like South China Sea. And I don't know about Senkaku Islands. Are they doing anything? So I'm seeing stuff like that. So yeah. Konnichiwa, Yoko-san. It's amazing how you guys can write Japanese characters. Oh, sorry, I missed this super chat. Do you have a Polar account or MeWe account? What's MeWe? I've never heard of that. But Polar, I have Polar account. It's real Random Yoko. Somebody has taken Random Yoko, it seems. Like I couldn't, when I was getting registered, Random Yoko, it said it was taken. I'm like, what kind of weird person would take my name? Anyway, real Random Yoko. And I haven't been posting anything though. It's Polar is so heavy, and it's just like it's a newborn baby, right? And people are now coming on the platform like little by little. So I guess that we have to be patient. Oh yeah, I was right. US, not IS. Okay. And I want to go to Japan for studying abroad, but I am scared about Japanese colleges being progressives like in Chile. How is that? Oh, yes. Like, I mean, universities or colleges here are, of course, dominated by left-wing professors, but there are some like good professors too, I guess. And it kind of depends on which university you go to, I think. And it might be a little different for foreign students, but I'm not an expert on this, so I can't really answer. But yeah, but the friends that you will make though in universities or colleges here, like young kids tend to be like non-political and they don't talk about politics face to face, especially. So don't, expect good things on that. It's gonna be weird, I think. You want to go back to Japan and visit your family? Oh, yeah. My friend hasn't been able to come back to Japan. I have a friend in Switzerland who is married to a foreigner, and she's one of my best friends, and she's stuck there. She wants to come back to Japan every year, but not happening. So, hello from Hokkaido. Oh, President Trump had his vote stolen. Now, get recognizes President Trump's victory. Yeah, stop the steal. Oh, it's amazing how the Japanese TV, like our public network nationwide, it was talking about called NHK. It was talking about stop the steal on TV. So that was amazing. Of course, the picture that they depict on TV is that President Trump is being stubborn and he should just give up and that sort of things. Even though officially nothing has been decided yet. So our media is such a puppet of the left bias media in America. And it's interesting how, but Japanese people are our emotions are not too attached to what the TV says about the US election. So what happens is, for example, I have housewife friends here, like locally, those who are in like around my mother's age. So like they are my mom's friends, and I'm somehow good friends with them because I'm so old inside. Maybe like 4,000 years old or something. But anyway, so I talk to those housewives, like way older than me, and they ask me, Yoko-chan, Yoko-chan, what's happening with the US? What's the here's the crazy part. Like ordinary Japanese people ask me, what's the difference between Trump and Biden? Like my jaw drops every time. Like, oh, really? This is the level that I have to deal with. So yeah, and then I tell them like how Trump, how their policies are different and what it means to us, and they're like, "Oh, Trump must be our guy," and they change. It's not changed. They don't have anything as a premise, and they're like, "Oh, Trump-san, Trump," like they. They start to understand. Yep. There was a lot of election fraud in the US. Yes, I'm aware, but it's like people here, Japanese conservatives are divided on the topic now, and I'm starting to get tired of all this election fraud discussions in Japan. I mean, I support President Trump, and I will support him until he wins. But our discussions here in Japan is like some people are very, very passionate about President Trump, and other people are, it's the minority though. The minority of the conservatives are saying that we should be realistic, and that how there's this guy that points out that GOP people are starting to have a distance from President Trump. And this expert is just pointing out how, if we want to team up with conservatives in the US, we need to know the right group of conservatives. But then, what do you mean by that? I talked about this last week as well, but yep. And super chat, thank you, Pangers Bands Quest. Every time, thank you so much. It really means a lot. How was your trip to Tokyo? Also, what are your thoughts on Japan signing the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership? Is it RCEP? I don't know the abbreviation reading, but yeah, that RCEP. I'm gonna go with RCEP with China and South Korea. Do you think it may make Japan more politically dependent on China? Okay, so first of all, trip to Tokyo was great. We had an event about Southern Mongolian language education, because just like Tibet and Uyghur and Hong Kong, Taiwan, and so on. Not Taiwan yet, and never will be, hopefully. But so Tibet, Uyghur, Southern Mongolia, Hong Kong are the regions or nation states that we always talk about as the nation states that are oppressed by CCP. And Southern Mongolia is somehow, it's not somehow, it's because it's often said the 90% of Southern Mongolia is conquered by CCP. And so that's why we don't hear about Southern Mongolia anymore, because there are lots of like Chinese, like a Han tribe, Chinese people like dominating population wise, and they have this authoritarian regime there and so on. But still, Southern Mongolians were being educated by their own mother language. But recently, China changed their policy, and now they are forcing Mandarin to Southern Mongolians. And Southern Mongolians, even though they are so scared, they are standing up inside of Southern Mongolia. And we have our Southern Mongolian friends in Japan, and we are always working closely together against CCP. So we had this event in the National Diet building in Tokyo just a few days ago, and I was part of that, as the part of the organizers. And we invited National Diet members. I think 5 National Diet members or so came, and so it was successful. And also the former president of Mongolia, like what China calls as outer, like Mongolia, like the Mongolia part that is not oppressed. The former president of that part got connected with us through the internet, and he was talking to us in the hall and so on. So that was great. But yeah, we are fighting together. And as for the partnership, some people were asking me about that, but our recognition is that the US left, so we have to deal with what's remaining. And Japan, especially, our even before this, China is such a huge country for us, like the country that we depend on economically. So when we Japanese talk about economy, it's like in the world, when we say like the world and economy, and it's always about America and China, that those are the two big fundamental countries that we depend on to begin with. So I don't know how much difference it makes for us, like separately or individually, but what I am concerned about is China taking more power economically. So that would be my concern, I think. Politically, more politically dependent on China. It might be like it's the same as Twitter, for example. Twitter is known for a battlefield, right? That some people want to people are shifting to Parler now, and like free speech and so on. But then there are a bunch of people saying like, don't leave the battlefield, right? But as for this partnership, I believe America left, right? And like same for TPP and so on. Like all these things, like I understand President Trump's gesture and his actions and what it means to American people, and I do support that. But at the same time, there's this negative consequence that if you leave, like even UN, if you leave, what's left, what is remaining, it can be taken advantage. Like our enemies will take the advantage of the aftermath. So I don't know. It's all about tactic, though. And Japan, our economy has to, I don't know. Like we first of all, we have to, lower our consumption tax and also change our economy fundamentally in the first place. So we'll see what happens. I hope this give you some what you call food for thought. Okay, thank you for your great question. Tucker Carlson from Fox said there is not enough evidence as of yet for Trump to overturn the election. I heard about Tucker. People are like, Tucker, you too. I don't know. It's like a historical saying. He works for Fox News though, so yeah. I guess that he had to follow. Yeah, Fox has been bought out. I mean, I wish that they would make us like a separate news network or join ONN, One American News Network. Yeah, something I'm thinking about that. I watched that. Yes. Rented Identities was there. I watched that. They are teaching Mongolian history in Chinese. Can you believe it? Yeah, it's like that is the definition of colonization, don't you think? Conquer the area by force, flood your population in and take like steal their language, local language. When you steal the language, you can steal all this religion and culture and core values and so on. A language is such a powerful thing that unites people. So yeah, they are colonizing southern Mongolia, and not only southern Mongolia, but all these places: Tibet, Uyghur, and Hong Kong now. Oh man. Oh, by the way, Hong Kong, even the language is very different, I hear. I mean, I can even hear the difference. When I hear like Chinese people speaking Mandarin and I hear Hong Kongers speaking like Cantonese, their accent or language, I can tell the difference. So yeah, like it's very, very different. And I'm sure, and I do hear that in Hong Kong, they are, teaching Mandarin, or they're forcing Mandarin to Hong Kongers, and their language is in danger as well. And so there were I've even seen a movie made by Hong Kong people too on that. So it's really awful. The CCP is banking on Biden in putting the US back into the usual position and bent over with our pants down. That's so graphic. That's so graphic. Yeah, it's it's not a laughable situation, but yeah. Don't chew me in a Mongolia. Oh, that's a important thing to mention. So the definition that China use is how do I explain? So from China's view, Mongolia, when China is in center and then Mongolia is outside, right? And then they drew this border. And what happens is that inside of their border is southern Mongolia and outside is Mongolia, right? That's what happens, right? Like Mongolia is here, China is here, and then they swallow Mongolia, cut in half. There's the part that is inside of their borders, a border. So that the inner part is what China calls Inner Mongolia, but it's just southern part of Mongolia. It's southern Mongolia. And when seen from China, though, it is inner because it is a border that they one-sidedly drew, if that makes sense. I wish I had a way to show you, but so China's definition is it's like outer Mongolia and inner Mongolia. So when people talk about, even those who are very aware of what CCP is doing in Asia, some people still use the definitions as like inner Mongolia, but southern Mongolians don't want to use that expression. And same goes for ethnic minorities. If you say ethnic minorities, that means that those tribes are inside of China. That's China is so like they think about the words they use like very, very deeply, and so that's already an information war right there. But so instead of ethnic minorities, even Pompeo is using ethnic minority as the term, but ethnic minority, the term is something that we shouldn't use, because like Tibetans, there are a lot of Tibetans and Uyghur people, lots of Uyghur people, and they are they had their own country or their own nation, and it's just one-sidedly China comes in and they're saying like, oh, we are the majority and they're the small group of people. No, that's not how it is, So yeah, China is still harvesting organs. I know, it's so crazy. I told about it to my housewife friends, and they were shocked. Like they couldn't believe, like, like they always talk about Hitler and so on, and they label our former Prime Minister Abe and even Trump as Hitler. They call all these world leaders that they don't like as Hitler. But what's happening today is CCP, man. This is the 21st century and CCP is still doing colonization. And the world must freaking wake up already. Your English is so native, like really? Oh, thank you. That's such a compliment. I try so hard. You have no idea how much time I spend listening to English. Oh, arigato, Yoko. Have you heard of the news agency Asian Boss? Oh yeah, Korean one, right? If so, do you feel they are objective in their reporting or biased like the US news media? Oh, I haven't checked enough. I've seen them like interviewing the people in town and so on, and so for that it was interesting, but aside from that I don't know anything. I haven't checked, so I can't really answer. But yeah, okay. Well, people are talking about CCP. Sorry, I am so late about lately on like reading. I wanna, read everything. Okay, sorry. This is so live, but no live at the same time. It's so funny. Hi, Yoko. Much love. Oh, thank you. Hi. Huh? Have you heard of the Great Reset? No. Who? What is that? Israel does the same to Palestine. I don't know the pronunciation. I know what it means, but man. See, I am not familiar with Middle Eastern issues, or I don't talk about those. So, man, it shows that I clearly am not aware. Look up Matt Walsh. He is an independent conservative on YouTube. Huh. Does he kind I feel like he sounds familiar. I don't know. Okay, thank you. Matt Walsh. Okay. What are your thoughts on the traditional Japanese Catholics? Do you believe the Japanese warlords made the right decision to ban the Catholic faith back in the 16th century? I have to say, yes, our ancestors dealt with the situation well. I'm sorry for those Christian people, but our perspective is that it was such a threat to our country because because it's a Catholicism or Catholic is it's a the organization is like a what we call like pyramid, and it goes beyond the border. So what that means is that there's a headquarters somewhere, and like that their power can be stronger than the power inside of our country. Our people could listen to their leader like in another country instead of the leaders here. That's one threat. And another thing I hear is that there were please don't get offended by, but there are records showing that there were human trafficking happening with Catholic people and like through Catholic leaders here. And so like our women were sold in Europe and so on. So our leaders back then wanted to stop that, and I hear that's the reason why we had to ban and so on. So yeah, that's why we actually have. I think the Japanese people have a bit of negative image about Christianity. I'm afraid, but recently, like let's say President Trump, for example. Like Trump has contributed to the world peace like very, very massively. So through President Trump, we are learning about how how Christian American people are, and like all these beautiful things about the Catholic and Protestants and all this Christian community. We are learning a lot now. So and even the atomic bombs in the World War II. People, it's interesting how there are social justice warriors in the US, but how we see from outside, especially at that time we were an enemy, right, to you. And so what that means is that we regard America as a Christian nation. So lots of things are like, I really hate to talk about things like this, but it's just what happens. And so we need to look at things like precisely, I think, instead of talking like this. But Sidney Powell's press conference on November 19, she mentioned political corruption tries to destroy America's democracy and freedom. Maybe I saw that one on it was on a TV show. I did see one of her videos. She's been making lots of comments, but some of you were saying like, "Oh, she's a distraction to blah blah blah." So, I don't know. Hello. CNN is all lies and propaganda. Yeah, I saw Trump supporters gathering in front of CNN headquarters at Atlanta, I believe. My friend Michael Young is there, U.S. veteran. Michael Young. I always talk about him, but please follow him so that you can understand more about the war and how Japan is. CNN sucks. All this, your claims about CNN is heard by Japanese people. We know about CNN and how biased they can be. And yeah, hello. That's like a halo. I'm American and I do not believe anything CNN says. Fox News is going the way of CNN, sadly, so is Tucker Carlson. Yeah, I mean, it's all about business. So, yeah. Oh, you like my channel? Thank you! Arigatou gozaimasu. I have a couple friends in South Korea, and their main complaint about Japan is that they don't understand why Japan has never admitted to their war crimes against Korea. What are your thoughts? Oh my gosh, like they are. It's that we have apologized so many freaking times, and we have gave reparation money, like tons of them, to South Korea multiple times. It's only that South Korean people don't get to hear about it. Okay, how there's this miracle that funded South Korea, but it was actually Japan's money when the war ended. Oh my gosh, so sad. It's like double the annual budget of South Korea at the time. I think I made a video a long time ago about that. And not only that, there was this treaty between Japan and South Korea in 1965. And it says that no more about things like that treaty in 1965 is the end of all these complaints. And at the time, there were no complaints about complaints of the things that you hear today, like comfort women issue or all this island like territorial disputes and so on, or even like all this forced labor and so forth that you hear nowadays from South Korea. Those issues weren't there in 1965. They are making stuff up later. And so, and not only that, during Obama administration, for you guys, I think it was 2015. I think there was this treaty, or was it treaty or agreement? Japan South Korea agreement in, I believe that was 2015. I can be wrong, but some year of December, there was agreement, and it was on comfort women issue. And even though we know about all this historical background and how unfair their claim is, Obama especially wanted Japan and South Korea to get along. So America barged in and forced us to, be nice to each other. And for that, we had to give like so much money. It's like $1 billion yen, I think. I can't translate, but we gave so much money to South Korea, but still, they're not happy. Of course, like the reparation is never ending. So like we do a lot to solve, but then it doesn't do anything. So especially our administration right now is strongly very strict against South Korea. So that's good, but yeah, all this Chinese communists though, who the agitator of the problems between Japan and South Korea, the agitators are Chinese communists. Those are the ones that are behind this, because if Japan and South Korea are divided, they can conquer, divide and conquer. Yeah, so that sort of things. But I am so angry when I get angry when I think about that because that's our money, And I've seen BLM people in America talking about reparations. That's to me alert, alert, alert. Whenever they talk about reparation, I'm like, so my friend Michael Young, as I mentioned earlier, Michael Young. He's on Twitter and Facebook too, but he compares BLM with KLM, Korean Lives Matter. And that has been going on in Japan for forever. So you can learn a lot from what they're doing to us so that you can prevent future problems. Yeah. Okay. So it's now 40 minutes. So I'm going to go in 20 minutes. Okay. I have this one. I read that. What if Biden becomes president? We have to make sure that he doesn't have appeasement with China. And also, we can drive Biden too by talking about human rights and environmental issues. Because when we talk about, Democrats in the US care so much about human rights. So when they say that, they are usually talking about the minorities in the US, but in the world, they are talking about the human rights in general, right? And so we can ask Biden to think about all the human rights of Tibet, Uyghurs of Mongolia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Cambodia, Vietnam, and all these places that our CCP is pressuring, So that's one thing. And another thing is environment. When we talk about environmental issues, like you picture somebody like Greta from Sweden, the little girl. So they all these environmentalists, they talk about developed countries and how we are bad and how we are polluting the earth and so on. But the real criminal as for environment is CCP. What China has been doing so, I don't know, like polluting the air, polluting the sea, the ocean. They're doing it so, like, there lots of diseases come from China because it's not clean, and they are really like destroying the earth, the environment. So what we can ask Biden to do is do something about that. If you talk about clean energy and all this environment, don't focus on your country. It's important to be responsible, but the root cause is CCP and India too. So there are priorities. You have to fix something first. That's what I think. So even if Biden becomes the president, which I hope it doesn't happen, even if he does, there are still ways to fight, I think. Okay. Oh, super chat, thank you. Have you read the Gulag RP? Oh my gosh, I can't read a thing. It's like, have you read the thing, but rather like, can you read this word? No, I don't think so. What is that? Okay. Biden isn't going to be president even if he gets in. He can't even answer questions from reporters without deferring to Kamala. Yeah, I already saw. I already saw Biden. It's not a gaffe, but he was stumbling when he was speaking. And I wonder what American people think about that. Those who voted for Biden or who believe that Biden really won. It's like it's so crazy to think that there are lots of amazing American workers and specialists and so on, and Biden will be the top of that? All these talented people are there in America, like very, very high level. But then Biden is the face of America? Like, huh? It's crazy when I think about that. So, oh, konnichiwa. I like how you wrote my name correctly. What about toilet paper? Somebody talked about toilet paper? Na 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 na. A great channel. Thank you, guys. Okay. Sorry if I missed some of the earlier comments. I'm scrolling down. No. Saul Alinsky, Rules for Radicals division. Yeah, I know about him. He's pretty much like a father of Obama, like activity wise. Yeah, so Saul Alinsky is somebody that is known by Japanese people a little bit too. Some people know about him because I translated. What you guys are talking about. So yeah, okay. Once the riots begin, make sure you have mountains and mountains of toilet paper, folks. Oh, there it goes, the toilet paper. Yeah, what's up with people wanting toilet paper? Every time some kind of that, like a disaster or all this pandemic situation happens, like it's a worldwide thing. People just try to get toilet paper. So interesting. What do you think about gun ownership in Japan? Would it ever be necessary for protection, you mean? If so, I don't think it's necessary. Because Japan is so old-fashioned. I don't know what kind of image that you have about Japanese people. Like maybe some of you think, Japanese people are so nice and polite and blah blah blah. No, Japanese people are so savage. Like, so we kill people by air, like dead stare. And like we sense the atmosphere so much that, like, if you I don't know, like things are just so different here that you don't even need a gun. We are a weird tribe. I'm sorry. I wish I could answer in a good way, but yeah, I mean, we had swords back in the day. Was it like 1600? Our leader at the time got rid of swords, even though, especially for samurais, swords were such a thing that, like, it was the representation of how they live, so you can't detach swords from samurais, but they had to, and they listened, and they gave up and adjusted themselves to the Western culture and so on. And so we've been, living without swords or guns in such a long time. And the funny part is, though, there are mafia type of people in Japan, even though we live in total different worlds somehow in one nation. There are some some people do own guns and some explosive and so on, which can be found often in my prefecture. Somehow my prefecture is actually dangerous when it comes to that. Okay. Oh yeah, katana. Imagine kendo with the ken. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I used to do kendo, by the way. I was the captain in junior high school. I was one of the top girls in our district here. So, I'm very, yeah. Okay. Hey, I caught you live again. Yay! You got me. Okay, let's read more of your comments. I'm gonna leave in 10 minutes, so I wonder where my husband is, by the way. He hasn't come home. Maybe he's like avoiding the rain. It's by the way, of course I have a rooftop here, but there's a window in the ceiling, so okay, let's see. A second or third wave of the virus means another wave of nurse TikToks. Nurse complaining or crying or something like that, or I don't know what kind of TikToks, but yeah. Oh man, I sometimes wish that President Trump didn't politicize mask wearing. If only he didn't politicize mask wearing, things would have been a lot different, I think. So, oh well. Okay. 3 years ago, creepy Joe Biden said whites becoming a minority in the US is a source of our strength. Source of our strength? Eh? Really? Like it becomes like it's a good thing? That's crazy. That's really crazy. I like white people, by the way. So beautiful. It's just so beautiful. On the outside, I don't know, like it's the same for all tribes in any country. In any country, there are lots of different types of people, and there are good people and bad people, evil people, and sort of things. And yeah, but on the outside, white people are so beautiful. I'm like, I might be brainwashed in some way. I don't know, but yeah, America's population is so changing. Yeah. Okay. I wonder what the benefits and negatives would be if Japan had firearms like US did. I think benefits and negatives. I guess it would be pretty much the same, that people wouldn't use it. There might be, though, some people that kind of get... I don't even know how to express that in English. Choshin noru. I don't know. I can't translate. Yeah, some people might go like, yeah, I'm strong, and bam, 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 shoot or something like that. But that's like really low people, and most people are just educated, so I think we'll be pretty much same. Foods from China are dangerous too. They are polluted. Oh yeah, that's why I try to avoid Chinese, like made in China stuff. But like when I go eat at restaurants and so on, though, I'm pretty sure that they are using Chinese food. So I'm like, bleh. But then I'm like, let's believe in what's that thing? Oh, I forgot the word. If you believe that something is good for you, your body will think so. Okay. Oh, good evening. Good evening. I'm going, instead of scrolling down, I'm going up, by the way. At the highest levels of society, no one believes the environmentalism scam. By the laws of physics as they are now, everything in the universe will eventually die, excluding the divine intervention. Yeah, I mean, it's like the Earth is alive and we're inside of the universe, so of course there are changes, right? And sometimes it gets cold, it gets warm, and blah blah blah, and there's always change. Like, it's a living thing. So like, just like our body gets cold and warm and something like that, and the Earth is the same. So people are only it's very like Western way of seeing. I think those who claim about global warming and so on, you're only looking at the short period of time and judging and so on. Of course, it's important to think about the environment and who is making it worse and so on. But then there's a limit of what we can do. So rather, we have to think of how we can live with this current set of premise. The Democrat platform reminds me Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate? What's Heaven's Gate? Sorry, I'm not familiar with things. I'm so sorry. Okay. Oh, placebo. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Placebo effects. It happens. If immigrants voted Republican, the Democrats would have funded the wall years ago. If immigrants voted Republican, well, I'm confused. Oh, because they want to do opposite things? Placebo effect. Yes. It's amazing how you can understand what I was trying to say. Sometimes it goes beyond language, and that's very interesting. Can I get your Etsy shop name again? It's Random Yoko. Just Random Yoko. YOKO. I think I put the link below. So check that out. Not sure about the delivery situation though. I think it depends on where you are from. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Heaven Gate is a cult? It's a cult? Huh. Interesting. Oh, you have a parlor. Yeah, you guys be friends with each other. Like, you guys are so unique, you know that. Like, I'm a Japanese person living in Japan talking about America or my country or Asian issues, and somehow, even though my English is broken and all, you listen to me, and so that means that you are like you're such a learner. You want to expand your views, and that's such a beautiful thing. And I really appreciate that you are here, and even there are some people that come every time, and that's amazing. But what that tells me is that, you guys talk, you should interact in the chat and become friends. And yeah, that's cool. Oh, Yoko's English is more fluent than my Japanese. Oh, your Japanese is so good though. I remember I couldn't, I missed what's the word? I thought that you were a Japanese person. Prussian Thai American raised in Kyushu. Wow, that is such a a lot. You have a lot in you. That's amazing. Okay. Wow. I need a short Japanese wife so I can learn Japanese. Yes. It's I don't know if I should recommend or not. Like, love should be love only, but hanging out with attractive people from the country the country which has the language that you want to speak, that helps you a lot. I learned a lot from dating American guys. I have to say, I think that was a shortcut. Have you tried black Nikka coffee? Nikka? Not sure. Not sure. I don't know. America needs more beautiful Japanese women to immigrate. I don't know. There are lots of Korean and Chinese people though in America. Yeah. It's so weird when I meet like Asian Americans because they look so much like us, just like us, and they're somehow American. It's like when you deeply think about that, like it gets weird. Like I get weirded out in my head. Like I get confused. Like American. Like, okay. Oh, it's been an hour, so I have to go now. Guys, Yoko just solved the STEM education problem. We need more hot girls who speak math. What? Interesting. Boss is more popular in Tokyo and Kanto. Oh, Nika is the brand? Boss is so... Was it Boss? Yeah, Boss. There's this what we call plastic bottled coffee. I think that's the Boss one. So awful, man. So awful. I'm like, I can't finish this. And I couldn't drink that one. I like the coffee with 酸味ってなんて言うんだ? I don't know. Oh man. I have to learn a lot. La la la. Okay, I need to go now. So thank you guys so much for watching. There are so many things I wanna talk about. I think I need to film videos. Yeah. I will do something. I have to first work on my website though. My husband tells me that I need a media tab on my website so that people will know like what kind of person I am. That I do get exposures by the media, recently it was South China Morning Post, BBC, Breitbart. So yeah, those things are socially, I guess, gives me trust for other people. So yeah, anyway, thank you. Oh, thank you guys so much for your kind words. Japanese girl to marry. I'll be watching. Watch out. La la. It's acid. Oh yeah, acid. Thank you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye bye, y'all. Have a good night, guys. And yeah. Ask Shannon to interview me. Oh yeah, that's a bold move, but I could one day. Okay. Yay! Sayonara! Thank you! Okay, I should just go, right? Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go now. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you miss me, follow me on Twitter at Random Yoko. Okay, bye-bye!